I enjoy listening to On the Mic with Mike every day. That's what I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike. This is the premier business-ish radio program. I'm your host, Mike King. We're coming to you from the Mike King Biz Studio, which is the global epicenter of social enterprise business. What we do is we talk to the game changer folks out there making a difference. So, a good friend of mine, shout out to Sharon Oliver. She has the coolest space around. So, if you ever need event space, make sure you go check out Sharon Oliver is club CEO. She's like, Mike, there's a lady with an incredible story who has something going on. And since I'm a public servant, I'm like, okay, fine. So look who showed up, Miss Shirley. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so it's a serious topic, but really quickly, tell folks who you are and what you do and why we're here today.
Okay, my name is Shirley Scarborough, and I'm here because I'm on Saturday, April the 8th, 2023, this Saturday, we will be having an event called I Am Enough, I Know My Worth Conference. And this event is for, will be featuring things about domestic abuse. And it is for ages 13 on up. It's for, is to help younger girls to know their worth and also to educate on domestic abuse.
Because a lot of times the domestic abuse that we see happening, we see it as 20 something, 30 something, 40 something year olds. And in reality, that started when they were younger. So shout out to my friend Sarah Ellen Bagby, who says know your worth and then add tax.
That's
because
right.
that one right there, so you're talking to the younger girls.
And interest.
You know. There you go. So add the tax and add some interest.
That's
because
right.
you have to do it early on, because at that age they're forming who they are. And how did you get to this point of having this conference? So explain to our listeners and viewers exactly how we get here today.
Okay, on April the 9th, I received a call in the morning that my daughter had been murdered. That she was found dead in her car. She had died the night before at 9
And
o'clock.
what year was this?
April 2020. April the 9th,
2020. Okay.
So this will be her third year. And it was traumatizing to receive a call from someone telling you that your daughter, has been shot, and she had been shot twice in the heart, and she was with child. So my daughter and her unborn child. And through much grief, tears, just trying to figure this thing out. I started having dreams and started having visions and just started writing down things that was given to me. I know by the Lord that her beauty would be for her. It would be beauty for ashes, and that her death would not be in vain. And I woke up one night, I had dreamt that I saw a microphone, ground opening up and a microphone coming out the ground. And I'm like, okay, you want me to be her mouthpiece. You want me to educate younger women, educate older women, because it's not just younger women, it's older women, it's grandmothers that's been in it for years and it's normal to them. It's younger women that's younger girls that's dating and they are being abused and don't even know it, emotionally, mentally, things like that. So we need to educate and tell them it's okay. Don't do this thing in silence. Speak up. You have a voice,
So you decided, you see that microphone, and like you said, you know the word, and you're gonna have to follow it. Hey, you had to figure out how to make this thing happen.
I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that I was so in grief. And I started writing, even when I was at my desk, I would start writing sayings. I would just get these sayings. One saying was, tell the young girls, you don't have to be an antique to be valuable. And I'm like, that's a t-shirt.
That's a good one.
Put your past in storage and forget to pay the bill. In other words, don't live on your past. You're worth more than your past,
Wait a minute, run that one back by me again. Put your past in storage.
Yeah, forget to pay the bill, because God has something great for each person, that you are God's masterpiece. God specially created you, handmade you, and he don't make mistakes, and he's the greatest artist there is. Big hips, full lips, blacker than black, lighter than light. You are who God made you to be. And so these are things that God began to give me, all these different sayings, and I got a list of them. And one of them was, I got the t-shirt says, I'm not a drum. Don't beat on me. Or if you want to beat on something, beat the drum. If you want to control, get the remote. Um,
I hear you.
so
So those are some good ones right
yeah,
there.
so just different things, God has given me a list of sayings to put out, and so I'm beginning to get them out for young girls in the form of T-shirts, in the form of whatever way I can get them out, because you really need to understand who you are.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Shirley's here with us. So you had said that happened that day. It happened to you, but you had said before you had seen other people going through similar things, never thinking. Never thinking. Talk about how you view those things now after the fact.
It's like, oh my goodness, many people have lost children before I lost my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like you hear about it and you go on with your life.
Yes.
But now I'm stopped in my tracks. I'm like, I feel what they feel.
Because you know what they're feeling on that day.
I feel what their mother feel when she gets that call and somebody saying that your child was shot or your child was killed. I'm feeling what they feel, because and it's like all of a sudden this world opened up. It's been there all the time, but it don't bother you until it happened to you, till it come to your door. And so it's teaching me um about compassion, about so many different things have happened to me since this has happened.
So when you went from the grief to the anger part, but you told me you don't like the vengeance part, that you're not even part of that. This is going to be a positive light that's going to shine
Yes.
on your daughter's life.
Yes.
How did it take for this event to come up? Like, okay, you're sitting there, you're going through your thing. How'd you come up with that idea?
I was sitting there, like I said, and I have a yellow legal pad, and on it says to cry loud, spare not, speak up, and said to stop in the silence, stop the violence. It's time to stop the violence. And I hope the whole time I'm just writing notes. And the Lord says her death is not in vain, that she will rise again. And I'm like, okay, so I'm hearing all this, and I'm drawing a picture about the microphone coming out the ground, and I'm just writing down the things that He gave me. So last year was the first one that I had. I had it at my church.
Okay, wait a second, ma'am. So I tell you, I come from a long line of preachers. My sister's a preacher. You cannot come in here and say my church. You got to give the church shout out. And okay,
gladly.
All right. So what's the church we talking about?
The Word Church International Ministries. Pastor Robert Scarborough III is the pastor.
Is he related to you?
My son.
You done raised a preacher?
I raised a preacher.
There you go. Oh, okay. So normally after the person give a shout out to their church, then I say who's the pastor and first lady. Well, you didn't took care of all that.
Yeah.
Oh, so you the mom of the pastor.
Yeah, I'm the mom of the pastor, but let me tell you something. Hey, he is a pastor.
He's the pastor.
Anointed man of God that it ain't got nothing to do with mama when you at church.
Did you know that that when he was a child, did you know he was gonna have that in him? Oh, so sorry, ma'am. You didn't know when you came here. You didn't know this is therapy session for me.
Okay.
Did you know that he was gonna be
a pastor?
Yes. Were you know he was special in a certain kind of way?
We were at a church, and our pastor was the late Dr. Benjamin H. Payton, and he knew it. So he he shared it with me, and he would say, but Robbie, he used to call him Robbie. Robbie have to be the one to let us know. So one morning, he was about 5. He came in my room and he woke me up. He said, "Mama, wake up, wake up." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Mom, I heard a voice that said, I'm going into all the world and preach the gospel." I was like, "Get out of here. I'm tired." He was like, "Mom, wake up." I was like, and so I woke up and I heard what he said. And then I went to the phone. I called the pastor, and the pastor said, "After y'all get dressed and settled, bring him over here to my house. We already know what he's going to say." And so when he got there, when we got there, they already knew. His wife went into another room and she came out and she said they was glad they was waiting for him to make his calling known. He would have to be the one to do that. And so I didn't know. I had no idea. But our overseers knew,
Someone who was anointed themselves knew that kid had it.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know. I just knew that he was very, he always asked real deep questions, questions.
Deeper than a kid that age should be asking. Like people call that an old soul.
Right. And now he teaches deeper. Well, you have to listen to him to understand what I'm saying, but yeah.
Alrighty. So you own a daycare center as well, and you talked about, I can imagine that legal pad. You done wrote some stuff on there.
Yeah.
Do you ever go back and read the stuff?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I got to do it because I got to make sure I'm staying in line with the vision that was given to me, that I know God gave me. And this vision is that we are to get this word out.
Okay, let
get
me
this
hold the paper.
message
Let me
out.
take a look at it.
Yeah.
So, all right. So when you go back and read some of that stuff, all right.
Mhm.
So here quickly, uh, when traumatic things happen, we know the before and after. My mom passed away on Veterans Day, 11/97, and so my life is in two times: before then, and then after.
Yeah.
That was that day, and then when she died, I'm not a journaler or a writer, but I was writing some stuff down. Hey, I don't know what I was doing. I was gonna write a book or write something because I was that shy kid. I just wrote. And then years later, I wrote it. I read it. I was like, "Oh Lord, man!" I put that away. That scared me because right then I wrote what I was feeling. Now years later, I go back and I'm like, "Man, it was that bad." So when you go write this stuff down and you're going through, some people say it's not me. I'm just a vessel. I'm just writing this stuff down. Do you ever look at that stuff and be like, "Oh Lord"?
Well, I do, and not only since Francesca's death, I have been writing. I'm not a person that write a lot. I keep a pad by my bed because everything that I do, God pretty much so does order my steps. I'm serious about that. But during this time now, I've been writing different things. I've been writing about grief. I've been writing messages to women. That's going to come out. It's going to come out that you're God's masterpiece. If it affect you, it will reflect in you. Just different topics God been giving me that He wants me to deal with: the love of a father, the love of a mother, the importance of that love. I mean, just different things that God wants me to minister to women on that's been in broken relationships. That even if you're not, you still need to understand the father's why a father's important in your life. You need to understand why a mother's love is important in your life. You need to understand about what being validated is and all these things, And so I am writing, but Franny was my daughter, I call her Franny. Francesca was a writer. She kept
Or she was
journals.
a writer.
Yeah, she kept journals from 2008. And I'm reading her journals, and through all her journals, I'm finding that, oh my goodness, that she just wanted to be loved. She just wanted, healthy love, and just some of the things that she endured um through dating, through relationships.
When you went and you go through the period of grief, anger, and all those things, and what was the point that you had to put that down and be like, all right, I got to get to work on this, on keeping her name alive, because we live in a time now, information come and go, people, and before you know it, there has to be somebody out there with a beating of the drum saying, hey, you're not gonna forget this one.
What, last year, I think it was, I just went into a period where I just knew that I'm supposed to do this. This is the first year. I knew I was supposed to put this conference together. Last year I just did it for women. I didn't bring in the younger girls. I just did it for women, just on domestic abuse and the signs of it, and that type of thing. And then this year, we had a conference with women at church, and look, like every time I speak, I'm speaking about your worth, or being God's masterpiece and that kind of thing. And I spoke at that on our women's conference, and I had several women to come up to me, and I had one was a mother, and her daughter was going through some challenges, and she was cutting her arm and cutting her neck, and she came to me and she was like crying and said that word was for me. And that night I ministered to her daughter. And then I had another mother that said that her granddaughter was 13, and all she talks about is not living. And I'm like, okay, so now I got to get this message to them. Now you want me to do it for all ages. You don't want me to just box in somebody. You want me to just do it for everybody from birth on up. So I'm finding myself even in my daycare. This week is our word was important. I am important. And what does important mean? And why are you important? And who's important in your life? And what their roles are. And so I'm taking it now from 16 months all the way up, because I want to bring it in my daycare. And I want these kids to know and have confidence and have self-esteem.
Do you think that was there always a time that you had to teach that in the daycare, or do you think that the parents did more back in those days?
I think the parents did a bit more, but I think there's always a need because you got some parents that didn't know them, that was raised up themselves and didn't know and don't know who
That's
they
true.
are. And so there's always, if I could just, and I may even try to have a parenting class now to really teach this to parents, because parents are broken and they got to be healthy. They got to be healed so the children can be healed. So that's why we wanted to do the mother and daughter with this conference, because we want both people to be healthy. We want relationships to be healthy, and we want our relationships to heal.
Alrighty, how can people find you out there once again?
You can find me on Facebook. You can reach out to me on Facebook. Um, the website is Cry Loud Speak Up on our website, which is cryloudspeakup.com, and on Facebook and Eventbrite.
Why'd you come up with that name, Cry Loud?
I just, that was in my dream, to cry loud and to speak up, to spare not speak up in the scripture. And so cry loud, don't spare him, don't spare that sucker, excuse me, and speak up. Tell them, let the world know. Don't be embarrassed by it. Everybody's going through some type of something. So don't be embarrassed by it, cry loud as you can, get help,
You out here witnessing, and were you always the one who was kind of like that person?
Yes.
You were? Even when you were a young person?
After, but from the age of 26, when I really began to discover who I was, when I discovered who God was, and then I began to discover who I am.
When you talk to like the younger people, you talk to somebody and you see the light come on, because they're talking to you made a difference in somebody's life and you didn't even know. You were just going through, and all of a sudden you talk to somebody and you just saw something and you were just like, well, maybe you didn't. You talked to them and you went on your way. You just changed their life and you didn't realize it. But sometimes when you do your talking, you see that light come on. What's that like?
It's blessed. It's blessed. It's know that you're operating where you're supposed to operate. You're operating in your gift, and that's my gift. My gift is whatever. Yeah.
You didn't know. I didn't know you was coming here dropping nuggets, and when y'all came in, I didn't know what time it was.
My gift is the whatever's in you, I'm gonna pull it out of you. My gift is to help you to know who you are, and me, because every time I help somebody else, God is ministering to me. I mean, I was always, I feel like I got some confidence now, but I mean, he's steadily building up my confidence, because there's going to be a difficult person. There's going to be a person that more broken than me. There's going to be, it's not always going to be something that somebody just receive it. Sometimes you got the younger ladies now, man, they're not easy to minister to, but when God says it, when he opened up the door, I don't just walk in and push my way. I wait till he opened the door.
All right, you got some speakers coming there to talk to folks. Who you got? You want to talk about them?
Dr. Greg Marcel, he's gonna be one. He wrote a book on self-love, and the young ladies, every person gonna receive every young lady is gonna receive a book on self-love. He's gonna be talking to them about loving yourself. You can't love yourself. You can't love nobody else until you love yourself. So we're gonna be talking about self-love. We're gonna be talking about boundaries. Boundaries are for the dating. There gotta be boundaries. He don't get to cross that line. And
sometimes we gotta school people on what those lines are.
And exactly.
I think before it used to be a lot clearer back at, well, we don't want to be standing there like, back in the day, but back in the day, there were lines and you didn't cross those. And if you did, sometimes you were put in check or whatever. Sometimes those lines now are kind of like, blurry.
There are no lines.
You say there are no lines? I said blurry.
Sometimes I feel like there are no lines, because I deal with parents every day, and I deal with grandparents, and you don't know the difference between parents and grandparents, and you don't know the difference between daughter and mother. Everybody's dressing alike. Everybody is saying the same thing. Everybody's listening to the same filthy music, and there are no lines. We have to go back. So we need to go back in the day when we knew that grandma was grandma and mama was mama. My mother had 11 girls and 6 boys.
What?
Yes, and we had boundaries and we had lines.
You could not run. So my wife, there was 8 of them. That house
17 of us.
That house ran like a military house. It was only me, and my house ran like a military house. But okay, 11 girls.
11 girls and 6 boys. Yeah.
I'm trying to get over this. The 11 girls part. If 17 is just Where are you from originally?
Ashland, Virginia.
What was it like living out in Ashland? Did that seem like the end of the earth back then?
It was the end of everything. We lived on a farm. I know my sisters and siblings gonna get so mad with me because we lived way back off the road. But you know what? It was good. It was good because we did have boundaries, and we knew who we was. We were dirt poor, but we didn't know we were poor in that sense. We thought we were rich because we had
You had
parents. We had each other. We knew what was gonna be next. It was 15 of us at one time at home, and we never wanted for anything. I mean, when I tell you we just
Parents
lived
found a
alone.
way to make it.
They made it.
What number of the kids were you?
Oh, Lord, I think I'm number 13.
Oh, so so the road for them had already paved the way.
Yeah.
Life was easy for you guys coming along because people knew you were.
They knew who it was, but listen, life wasn't easy for us because Albert Harris was my daddy, and he was my height, and he didn't play. And he
So-
didn't play with the young men that came our way because he said, nobody brings babies here but me. So that was the rule. That was
Okay,
ground-
so
that was the
Mr.
ground
Harris
rule.
is out there. What kind of farmer was he? What did he?
He raised vegetables, fruits. We lived off the land. We were like black
Self-sufficient.
Quakers, or black.
Yeah, I'm from
Amish.
Pennsylvania. I know how that go. I know a
We
bunch
lived
of
off the land, and and they took care of us, and so yeah,
man.
yeah.
That okay, so let's go back to the mamas and grandma. That nuts. See, you're gonna get me on the soapbox now. Grandmama 35 years old and she in the club too.
Yeah.
Now
My grandma
you
was
knew
always
grandmother's back.
white hair.
Yeah.
My grandma was always white hair, both of my grandmas. And
You knew they was grandmothers.
they was grandmothers.
They looked like grandmothers.
They did. And
They didn't play. But we're like I know you one of them new kind of grandmothers too with the whole Amazon thing. Like you said, you like my wife, with y'all them kind of grandmothers, but y'all don't play crazy. There's rules and stuff.
There are rules and there are boundaries. Now I'm a Amazon grandma. I will give my grandchildren whatever. But I can tell you one thing.
They know.
One thing that is required: respect, honor, manners. Oh, don't come in. You're not gonna take us. Excuse me. Did you forget to say something? Yeah, there are things that we have to do
Teach them.
to teach them, to keep them like, in a certain place. So yeah, I'm that kind. I'm a loving grandma. I'm a fun grandma. They think I'm the.
I bet you are.
Oh, they think I'm so fun.
I know that's why they
Yeah,
are.
I'm real with them because this is a real world, and I'm
See,
living.
that's my wife is more real with. She was more real with my sons because she came from a big family and they kept things real.
Right.
I didn't come from that kind of family. I came from kind of like, keep it wrapped up.
Well, I came from an old-fashioned one where they didn't tell you everything that you needed. Like when my baby sister was born, she was born on my birthday. I was 13 and I didn't know my mom was having her. And they kept things
back in those days.
Yeah, back in those
The
days.
stuff where you see people out now,
Yeah.
be a little bit. I know. Don't get me started because then I'd be like, okay, all right, ma'am, really. So when the girls are gonna come here, like you said, this was women last year.
Mm-hmm.
This year it's women and girls because you saw a need that there are girls that we need to teach them like the boundaries and things like that. Because girls and women set the tone because men will be barbaric. That's who we are. That's what we do. Like I said, I get talked to every single morning about doing the right thing out here. Because after 43 years, my wife was like, Mike, yeah, because men will be barbaric and we'll be making a mess and don't even know it half the time. So you realize that the girls needed to know your worth, add tax and interest.
Absolutely. And make their interest high. You know how it is when you got bad credit?
When you done messed up in the past, now you got to pay more for everything. It's like the reason 7-Eleven high. Because you know what? You too lazy to go in the store.
High. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're worth that. You are worth that. No matter what your past is, no matter what you have done, that's not you. That don't define you. Listen, you need to have a past in order to have that present, in order to have that future. So whatever your past is, it's okay. God forgives, God loves, God didn't forget what he promised you. The plans he had for you is still the plans he had for you. And
okay. So here really quickly, so the event is happening this week.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that and then you go away.
No,
No, no, no, no,
no,
no, no, no.
no. We're
So-
gonna you're gonna hear more from us. We're gonna be doing workshops. We're put this organization together. This is new, but I just know the things that God have given me for this. This is not something that just gonna die. It didn't from last year, and it was very nice on last year, but this year he's taken us to a
another
different
level.
Yes. So you're gonna hear from us. You're gonna hear we got a books. We got things that's coming. I want to design a program just for the younger girls, and so just different things that is in my spirit and in my heart that I'm going
How
to
did you connect with Sharon Oliver?
Well, I knew Sharon from daycare, from the world of daycare for years, and her and I always kept in contact, and we met up again, and I'm like, Sharon,
Sharon know a bunch of people.
yeah,
Yeah, she
yeah,
know a bunch
but
of people.
she just wanted to. She reached out and she was just glad to be able to help. She felt what I was feeling, and she's taken it to heart, and so I'm grateful because doors have opened because of Sharon. I'm so grateful. God knows who to put in what place.
Yeah, they
We
do.
strategically got people in place that through this whole conference. I mean, it's like I'm like, whoa, wow, because I can't, I say I believe him, but then when he do it, then I'm like, wow.
He told you he was going to do it now, so you're standing with the shocked look on your face,
Yeah,
like,
for
wow,
sure.
really?
Because
Oh.
it's going to another magnitude.
That is true. Okay, so now you know where we are, you know what time it is. You gotta stay in touch and engage with us, and anything I can do to help you, because it's to have an event and then to have it going and to be able to keep the resources going to help out. So anything you need, as you can see, this is not the most structured place in the world. Nope. Mm-mm. So it doesn't matter like what it is, whatever. You got my info, hit me up and we'll help you get the word out, because this is important. Like you say, it's different when we're talking 30-some-year-old women. It's bad when, 30-some-year-old women got issues of 40 or 50s, 60s, whatever. But those teenagers are going to turn into those women.
Right.
And if we're going to try and straighten this thing out,
can I just add one thing?
this is your place. Let's go.
So we're doing a sponsorship too with this for the Boys and Girls Teen Center. They just built a teen center on Creighton Road. That's awesome, state of the art, and it has everything in it for teens. The teens designed it, and it's really it's great because it's got everything in it to help them become future entrepreneurs and that kind of thing. So we doing this time just to give to the younger people. We did a sponsorship where we wanted to sponsor young ladies to be able to come to the teens club. And we want to be able to just give donations for the Teens Club to do what needs to be done to get the children off the streets, to bring them, to learn, to help them. And then we can hopefully go in and help work with them too. So I just wanted to add that we are doing that.
Sponsorships.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what I say here is, and everybody who listens to the program, they know what time it is. Changing the world ain't cheap, easy, or free.
No.
So money got to change hands. And so that's what we're here to help you with that. Really quickly, so we're going to go away from I know my work to how long you been in business? 25 years.
25 years, March the 23rd.
And you know exactly the date.
Absolutely.
Okay.
1999.
How do you
98.
keep a business going? Like a lot of people want, and a lot of people start a business and you see a lot of people come and go. How do you keep a business going day after day, year after year?
Well, I don't know how to answer that because
you don't know how to answer. You do it every day.
And I know it's not in my own strength, and I know you say, "Here we go again," but I just got to tell it the way it's. But tell it the right people, the right.
But
place,
a whole bunch of people
prayer.
be sitting up there praying, but you got to pray and you put some action to it. You got that legal pad and you working it.
The reason I can say that when I opened up my business, I opened it up without a business plan.
I'm sure.
Without any money.
That's a typical us story. You just asked me. So why did you? Well, okay. Why did you even go into that business?
Because I've always done it. I did it in my home for like 8 years, and
you was the
did
place
it at
that people
church
came
for
and
2
dropped you off, dropped
yeah.
your kids off.
Yeah, and so I just it's my gift.
Okay.
And that's why I can stay in business, because if it weren't my gift, you would see me on TV with CPS. You would see me going to jail.
Exactly. Because these kids are a little different. They didn't change over the years.
The parents.
Oh yeah.
It's different, but I know that's my gift. And I have tried, I have worked all over doing all kinds of things, but I never could get settled until
You just kept
this,
getting called, come back.
to this.
Back in those days, here I go again. But back in the day, the parent, you just had to have took care of the, the daycare center and that like that. Now you got to be the nutritionist, you got to be a therapist, you got to be all those things wrapped up. And every day you see the kids and they come in, and sometimes you see the parent, you just be like, do you ever like on the side, like sort of parent to parent, like, yo, you got to tighten up without saying it that way, because
Yes.
little Johnny right there, you might be, because you didn't see him,
Yes.
you might want to tighten up
Yes.
there.
And I'm really grateful because it's like I know just when to do it. And
Oh,
and
did
just
you
how
always
to
know when?
no,
Oh,
no, but let me tell you, age will give you wisdom. Experiences will give you more wisdom. And so when you start experiencing and you did it that way and you knew what happened, you don't go back that way. You start saying, God, give me, show me the way. And my thing is every morning is, Lord, put a watch over my lips. Put a God over my lips. Don't let me say nothing that I shouldn't say. Give me the right words and give me the time and make sure my timing is right. Because listen, sometimes you got parents that's just overwhelmed. They want to do right and they want to be good parents. But sometimes life is just not throwing them, they're throwing them lemons. So you have to understand that, and you have to know when to and how to. And I get feedback on that, I'll call them out. Sometimes they come in and I promise you, I'll be like, did you forget your other part of your clothes? But I just want to say that, but that ain't the right time. So I'll call them. I said, you're so special. Did you know how pretty you are? Girl,
are you dropping that on them?
I'm dropping it on them, and I know how to to bring some to them without making them feel, and it's a way, it's a gift. I'm telling you, because me,
You would just let it rip. Really, well, I keep saying really quickly, and now I keep going on because, hey, I'm just having a ball here. When did you realize? So you say you didn't know you was poor growing up, and because you had all this stuff. When did you realize that your parents? Yeah, because that's the only question parents don't know. I'm tired of it. When did you realize your parents kind of knew some stuff? How old were you?
grown, married, in trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh, wait a second. Here we got, Oh, okay, because
grown, married.
and in trouble.
Yeah, and
That's
so
why when my sons hit me up for something, I kind of try and make it happen, because I know they done went everywhere before they get to me. They're like, man, I got to call this dude, but I'm not my wife. I try and so really quickly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my wife ain't listening to this, so don't listen. But she knows now. My son needed some help, and he didn't want to call his mother, so he called me up, and I said, all right, let me make this deal off the book so mom don't see it. And I know I shouldn't have, but hey, you know what? Because he didn't want to call, because I didn't want to hear it either, because I would know I'm gonna hear why he's like that because of stuff that I did. Okay, so we did the deal. It was successful. Maybe I didn't raise him right, but the wheels started coming off 6 months later. Just like he just talking. He one of them talkative types. And he dropped the little nugget that my wife picked up and said, huh? Here I am in trouble. So, Mike, now I'm in trouble. So I think when you try and help your kids out, because they're going everywhere. So when you looked up and said, hey, mom and dad knew some stuff, you was grown, married, and in a little bit of a hot water.
yeah, I mean, I thank God for my parents are deceased, but I mean, if ever was such wonderful parents, when I tell you this, they were smart and they taught us how to work and they made us get it on our own. They didn't have to give us. What did they have to give us?
Except for the way to go. All right, ma'am. It has been a pleasure on the mic with Mike. So so the I Am Enough Know Your Worth conference, know your worth, add tax and interest. And they talking crying loud. All righty, the Boys and Girls Teen Center in Creighton Road.
1830 Creighton Road.
There we go. And so it has been a pleasure having you. And the name of your daycare?
Signs and Wonders Daycare and Learning Center, 3612 Meadowbridge Road. We take ages 16 months until they turn 13 and they think they're grown. We take that age.
Till they think they're grown. They know it all. Yeah. I did. I was there. All righty, so on the mic with Mike, we'd like to thank you. So you're gonna come back now, see, because I'm not done with you. You know, I gotta learn some stuff because I need all the help I can get. And shout out to the pastor. Maybe one time he might come through and talk a little about the world today.
Oh, you definitely want to get him.
I need to
Can
have
I
him
tell
coming
you
in.
this? Yeah, you would definitely.
Need to have him
Well,
coming.
she can tell you I'm his mama, but I don't say things because I'm his mama, because let me tell you something. I would not be in that ministry. I would not be following him if he did not follow what the word says and what God says. So he is a man of God, but he has much wisdom to be a young man. I admire him. I'm just proud of him, not in a boastful way, but in a way where he is a real pastor. He loves the people of God. When you come to our church, it's not a family church. I might be mama, but guess what? If he have to reprimand me as a pastor, he does it. He's just an awesome pastor. He's a man of God, and I've just risen. I got so
She
much
would have shaken
respect
her
for
head
him.
like,
Yeah, I got so much respect
Well, that's-
for him, and he deal with issues that when you come to our church, you can write a question down, and we get questions about sex, about everything that you can get, and he answers the question live, and it is awesome. It's anointed. The praise and worship is anointed.
And where's your church located?
It's what's that?
4108.
I'm excited. 4108 West Clay Street.
West Clay Street.
It's in Richmond, right off of Staples Mill and Bethlehem Road.
Oh,
Yeah. I want you to come one Sunday.
okay.
I guess.
I will. Well, we need him to come here too, because we need a whole bunch of people here. Because we're in some crazy times right now. We need all help.
He is definitely.
We need all help we can get. All right, ma'am. So one last time, how can people find you out there?
You can find me on Cry Loud, Spare Not, Facebook. You can find us on our website, cryloudspeakup.com, and on Eventbrite.
All righty. Speakers, mentoring, resources, self-awareness tools, mothers and daughters luncheon.
And it's all free.
Free? Come
Free.
on now.
It's all free.
So you would not giving a person a reason not to come. There ain't no
I
reason.
don't want nobody to not have a reason.
You
not to
better come here and here because we have some
It's
time.
free.
It
And
is
we're not just throwing something together. This is nicely put together. We have gift bags for the women. We have door prizes. We have a nice lunch. We don't just sitting there. We don't have just burgers. We got a lunch for you. We want to let you know that you are what we say you are. We say you're worth it. We say you are enough. We say you are special to God and you're special to us. And so we have this free this year. So come.
I'm glad you came in. I needed this today. On the mic with Mike, this Shirley's here. All right, we got to run. So as always said, the microphone ain't free. Please, so take a listen to our sponsors, advertisers who are out there who help us stay on the air. Plus, as I say, my grandkids do need stuff. So, and also support what she has going out there. It is very important. Like you said, now and learn something. Now, know yourself, add tax and interest. Because people out there giving stuff away too willy-nilly. There was a time we didn't, but we are now. And so we're out there, you're out there making a difference, and congratulations. Shout out to Sharon Oliver.
Yay.
She is out there. If you need event space, make sure you go check her out, because it's not just that. She's awesome. She's a partner of mine the way back, and she does business right. That's what I'm talking about. So Sharon Oliver, thank you. On the mic with Mike, we got to run. I will talk to you soon.